Gears of War 2 is the direct sequel to the hit game Gears of War, which may have been hard to figure out by the title. In this game, you get to see the exact same cast of characters as the first game, some extra friends, and some new foes. In my journey to beat all the Gears of War games, I played through this game, and now I want to see where it fits on my list. This game keeps a lot of the mechanics from the original Gears of War, and makes slight adjustments. This keeps the third-person cover shooting aspects of the game where you're, able to hide behind walls and waist-high barriers in order to dodge enemy gunfire. You then are able to either run and gun, or you could do the smart way and peek around these obstacles in order to return fire and try to take down the enemy. This game does feature some new weapons. They feel relatively lackluster. The exception to this is all of the weapons that actually allow you to cause real destruction. Some of the bigger enemies from the first game that were a real struggle to fight couldn't defeat them. You actually beat a solid handful of them in Gears of War 2. There's something fun about just demolishing these large locust beasts and feeling like you're causing real damage. Overall, I think there were some good updates in this game in relation to combat, so I want to give it 73 points. Now, when considering the graphics for the sequel, I'm thinking back to the original release of Gears of War rather than the Ultimate Edition that came out for Xbox One and that I reviewed a few weeks ago. And I have to say, keeping that in mind, the graphics were a step up, but just barely. Don't get me wrong, I do think this game looks real good, especially considering that this time around I actually also played this one on the Xbox One. However, when you're underground, things just look really bland overall. You go through similar locations one after another, and it gets kind of boring. This is in contrast to some of the above ground locations, which I actually found to be really enjoyable overall to explore. I also especially appreciated some of the hidden cog tags and how you really had to go out of your way to see some of the cool areas that the cog tags were in. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give graphics 47 points. As I play through this series, something I'm trying to focus on is the story. I want to know how we get from A to B and if it makes sense and is enjoyable. I have to say, this story definitely gave me more of what I was looking for in the first game. I feel like I got more background on what was going on, and we even got to meet the Queen of the Locusts in this game. On top of all of that, I feel like we get small tastes of other genres in this game. You have, of course, the standard third-person shooter, but there's also an area of the game that's kind of spooky. Another area of the game where it's third-person shooting, but, in the air or on a tank instead. These added genres are explained well in the game, and it really brings fresh life into the story and the characters. Sure, Marcus has always been a badass, but now we get to truly see how badass he and his friends are, which I think was kind of missing in the first game. The story for this game gets 70 points. For Gears of War 2, between gameplay at 73 points, graphics at 47, and the story at 70 points, we total this game up to be 190 points. There are beats of this game that I honestly like better than the original Gears of War, but at the end of the day, this definitely feels like the same game with a couple of changes. There also is really less to talk about in this game since it's a little bit less original than the first game in the series. However, I definitely think this game is worth playing, especially if you're trying to play through the series. Don't skip this one. And this game does keep me excited to keep playing the next one, play Gears of War 3. With all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy what I'm doing here, please hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a good one.